You are listening to the Children of Film podcast.
We're a 1.5 hour long dick joke.
Rejoice! Rejoice! We have returned. You are about to become children of film.
Oh no, that was one way to bring the Children of Film podcast back. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Children of Film podcast with myself, Jaron, and my co-host Jacob, equal co-host I should say. You know, maybe if we got paid to be doing this, we'd be back every week, but unfortunately we both have uni and work and lives and we're traveling and it's a lot of work, but what a week to come back than just the next big Marvel movie because we love views that we don't even get, so...
Yes.
You! Alright, how have you been, Jacob?
I've been okay. I've been, busy, but I'm finally free now. Went to Melbourne on the weekend, saw some films there, but I had uni, and I made a short film for uni that you guys may get to see one day. I don't know. I'd need to finish it, because I'm not too happy with the way it is right now, but that did take up a fair fucking amount of my time. But uni is back soon, but I think we're going to be alright to get back to podcasting regularly because I think I'll manage.
Each of the Children of Film boys have made a short film. I don't mind it.
Yeah, may or may not see mine. I'm not sure yet.
I'll see it, but I don't know about anyone else. But, and I have been, same as Jay, I've been at uni doing a lot of work, and the semester's done, so now I've got, another 5 weeks until I go back.
5 weeks? Fucking hell.
Yeah, man. We only finished a couple of weeks ago.
I got, 2 left.
Rip. Jesus. Yeah, well, I got, August 4 I go back, I think. And that's our life. So let's just jump right back. And usually I say that we're going to start the diary display to kind of loop up the audience to get ready for our movie talking, but this is really just to lube us up because we're really rigid and out of whack, a bit rough from not doing this for a while. You want to start?
Yeah, I'm eating a Skittle right now.
Even better.
What have I watched in the past week? I've watched a lot, so I'm going to lightning through it. Just before I went to Melbourne, I double featured a couple 2018 movies I needed to watch, Upgrade and Hereditary. Really, really keen for both of them. I loved Upgrade. Super, super fun, super high concept. Logan Marshall Green, aka Not Tom Hardy, was really, really good. Fun action movie right up my alley. Hereditary. I didn't buy that much into the hype, but I was still kind of let down by I didn't find it scary at all, and that's not me trying to be a cool kid. I want to be scared, but that being said, it's a fantastic film. The first half especially, it's a great look at family dysfunction and stuff. Alex Wolff and Toni Collette are incredible. Double featured The Thing and Videodrome at the theater me and Jaron went to last year and saw the Cornetto trilogy, which was beautiful.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So yeah, I saw The Thing last year, loved it, 5 out of 5. Brilliant movie. The practical effects are insane. Videodrome, I had never seen before. Still don't really know what the fuck it was about, but it was enjoyable. Then I saw Sicario, Day of the Soldado, aka Hitman, Day of the Soldier, and it was good. You saw this too, so if you want to jump in. I really, really liked this movie more than I expected to. I don't know if it was just the title that had my expectations low or the lack of Villeneuve, and it does lack Villeneuve. It lacks him, it lacks Roger Deakins shooting the thing, and it lacks Johan Johansson on the score, R.I.P. the big man.
I think the thing that really holds up Sicario 2 is the screenplay, because even though the direction from Villeneuve isn't there and it's not as good as it was, the screenplay is still fucking blistering. And I think that the direction in this film actually lets the screenplay down a little. I think it's really
I don't think it's badly directed, but there's not a lot of flair to it, and
that's the thing.
It's not that gritty.
See, if you watch other Taylor Sheridan movies with great screenplays, like the first one, like Hell or High Water, like Wind River, they're all directed they're just so unique, and they take a lot of it's really good. And this one's just fairly standard stuff for a screenplay. That
being said, great movie. I really enjoyed it. Expands upon the characters, but it's still mysterious, and I love the last 5 minutes, and it sets it up for a pretty interesting trilogy if they want to keep going.
Can you imagine the third film being written by Sheridan again and directed by like Fincher or someone?
Fincher, no, he's too busy working with that Brad Pitt money.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't know about that yet.
The Incredibles 2, this was a rewatch. I'd already seen it previous, but I took my cousin to it, and not a lot to say about it. It's really good. It's really fun. I really don't like the villain at all. Also, I laughed out loud when they revealed that its name was Screenslaver.
Well, do you know they change villains mid-production?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was it gonna?
I don't remember who it was gonna be, but I read an article where they said it wasn't connecting, so they made Screenslaver that character. No spoilers. So
Screenslaver was gonna be an actual villain, so it was like a Mandarin situation.
Yes, there was Screenslaver was gonna be someone else, but they changed.
Honestly, I think they were fucked either way because neither of those were that good. Maybe Screenslaver might have been alright if it had a less shitty name.
Yeah,
and
if it was a different character,
is the technology is enslaving us? Isn't that a bit overdone at this point?
Yeah, well, the screenplay was written like 5 years ago, so it's not really fair.
5 years ago?
Yeah.
I thought they were waiting until they had a good story.
Yeah, they were.
They've had this ready for 5 years.
Remember, this was going to come out in like 2014. And
yeah, true. They pushed it back, didn't they? Oh, that's pretty dirty. Another rewatch Ocean's 8 because there wasn't a lot else on, and I maintain that is a really, really, really fun movie. I really liked it. Jaren, you still got to check it out. Seriously. I mean, you're not a fan of the Ocean's movies?
I'm not that big a fan of the originals, so I don't. Yeah.
You gotta watch it. Get to watch, like Kate Blanchett's awesome in it. Anne Hathaway is great. Like, you just get to watch these actors do their thing. Yeah. Even Rihanna's serviceable,
Yeah,
so
I would
did
rather watch
right.
Adrift with Sam Claflin, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna watch
now.
I'm gonna watch that too. But check out Ocean's 8, even if you check it out on Blu-ray later.
Yeah, I probably will.
I quite enjoyed it. Although I love a good heist movie. Like, it's pretty hard to make a heist movie that's not enjoyable, I reckon. Went back to that theatre that plays old stuff and saw The Breakfast Club, which was awesome. Nice. One of my all-time favourites. Just every single line in that movie is memorable. Freaking. I rewatched Wonder from last year. Really, really great family movie. Everyone can learn a lesson from it. It's another one you got to watch, Jaren. I saw on my original review of it, you commented saying, I disagree with that quote, but I'll go see it, and you never did.
Did I do that, really? That's embarrassing.
I watched Blade Trinity. My mum bought me the Blu-ray because she loves it, and I did not love it.
Really?
In fact, I did not like it.
Shit.
Have you seen it yet?
No.
Yeah, it's not good, Jaren.
I was going to, and people told me not to. And I own the first two, but I didn't get the third one.
I own the first one and the third one. I'm gonna have to get the second one now because that's actually my favorite. But yeah, it's just Blade feels like a completely different character in this, and it was a trouble production. Like Wesley Snipes was being a dick to everyone, and like he wouldn't communicate with the director, and he just left post-it notes around the set that said "From Blade." And he wouldn't do any of the wide shots. He just did close-ups, and his stand-ins did everything else.
I heard about that. Yeah. He refused to do wides. It's pretty funny.
But at the same, Blade just looks like a completely different character in this movie. He's like angry at everyone all the time for no reason. Like, it's weird.
It's not explained.
What?
It's not explained?
Not really. It's just he seems to have like a different attitude.
It looks like Wesley Snipes takes over the great...
like in the first two, it's kind of like he had his team and he was like committed to working with that team and they got along and stuff. And in this one, it's just like the people he's working with, he's just fucking yelling at him and insulting him the whole time. It's weird. And Ryan Reynolds is there. He's got nice abs. I enjoyed him in it. He had some good one-liners. Triple H is there, so there's that.
Karate. Triple H, the big man.
The villain is so bad. It's like it's Dracula, but it's just some like...
It's like a gym bro.
Some beefed up fucking fuckboy. It's like Dominic Purcell, and he's not...
And it's actual Dracula.
He struggles to string some sentences together in this movie, is what I'll say. It was weird. Anyway, that's enough on Blade Trinity.
So it seems like Wesley Snipes was just doing the old Chris Evans, Scott Pilgrim, getting Blaze back in the Winnie while letting his
he was definitely
shots.
getting Blaze back in his Winnie. Well, I think he was smoking weed on set. Like,
Yeah.
I think Patton Oswalt wrote
Most
some
people's
story about it.
set, though.
Because Patton Oswalt's in it too for a little bit, and that was
The
that.
big
Yep.
man. I love Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, he's a good lad. He's a good boy. Have you seen that giant rant he did on the Parks and Rec where he was like talking about Marvel superheroes and
The
shit?
crossover, yeah. And he's like, the Space Stone could be our link to going into the Star Wars universe. And
it's so good.
Legend. And this is like 10 years before the Infinity storyline went into the cinemas. Obviously,
Yeah, he just goes on so long. And he's
like
like,
a
eventually,
weapon.
I can't feel my throat. I have to stop or something. Anyway, that night also rewatched Shape of Water for the 10th time. I've talked about it enough. I won't put you through that anymore. Also rewatched Happy Go Lucky. I've talked about that on the show too. It is my favorite Discovery this year. I've seen it like 4 times already. Recommend it. The Notebook I watched, which I thought it was okay. There's a lot of stuff I liked and some stuff that bothered me. Like Gosling and McAdams like carry it on their shoulders. They're so good, and there are a couple of spicy meatballs, Darren.
There are
the pair of them.
I love that book.
Wait, also, whenever Gosling's playing a sad boy, he's always got a beard, like
Yeah.
Blue Valentine and shit.
Of course. You got to.
It's good. So yeah, their
He
romance
doesn't have a
was,
beard in Place Beyond the Pines.
Yeah, is he? He's not that. He's a bit of a sad boy in that, but
He's
not
a
to
sad
the
boy
extent
until he
of these
realizes
two.
he has a kid.
Yeah, like he's not that much of a sad boy in that.
He's a.
I'm talking sad boy. He's like just moping around, not talking to anyone. Like at least in
about
Place on the
Blade Runner?
Pines, he rides a cool motorbike.
Yes, very true.
I'll give you Blade Runner. He's a sad boy in Blade
But
Runner.
yeah, in
definitely.
general, you're
No
pretty
beard.
much right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. What was I going to say? I thought that was good, but I thought it was a bit too cheesy and over the top at times, and the stuff with the older versions of themselves was a bit lame, and the ending, it was just a bit ridiculous. So I was like, all right, settle down. There's a shot where it fades to black and then it keeps going. If it had ended on that fade to black, it would have been a lot better, I think. Without spoiling it. I'd like to recommend this one. I rewatched a movie in the cinema, Ideal Home. I want to recommend that to people because I don't really know anyone else who watched it.
Big Paul Rudd.
And it's, you should watch. I don't know, you might like it. I think it's really funny. It's Paul Rudd and Steve Coogan as a gay couple, and Steve Coogan's character is a pompous celebrity chef named Erasmus Brumble. So if that's not recommendation enough to see the movie, I don't know what it is.
He's a filmmaker too, isn't he?
He hosts like a cooking TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they film it like on their property. But like, they're having a bit of problems in their relationship. They're always arguing and stuff. And Paul Rudd is like so sassy. It's great.
I've seen the trailer for it like 6 times.
He's got a wicked beard.
Yeah.
And a kid who turns out to be Coogan's grandson rocks up on their doorstep, and they basically have to look after him, and it goes from there. It's a great movie.
Coogan's grandson, so is Coogan bisexual?
He had a liaison with a woman in the 80s when he was on a lot of cocaine.
Weapon.
Yeah. Right, yeah, Ideal Home, definitely check it out. Call Me By Your Name, I rewatched because I can't get enough of that LGBT cinema, Jaron. I think Call Me By Your Name's an incredible film. Like, there's actually not that much separating
It's
that
actually
and
just
Shape
G
of Water as my
cinema.
favorite of last year. Fucking Chalamet is incredible, Hammer is incredible, and just the way, I'm just really noticing this time, the way it's put together, the way it's shot, it feels like a memory. Like, it's just like, it just feels timeless and just capturing this quintessential summer in this one kid's life that's going to shape him as a person, and it is beautiful. Rewatch Isle of Dogs. We've talked about that a lot. It's one of my favorites of the year so far. Saw Spirited Away on the big screen, which is my favorite animated movie. It was bloody beautiful. The score is incredible. And I'd actually never seen it in its original dialogue. I'd always watched the English dub because I always watched it when I was a kid. And
Really? I've seen it once with its original dialogue.
Yeah, but I haven't watched it in like 6 years or something. And when I was a kid, I would just watch it with the English dub. So
I didn't even know it had an English dub.
It kind of felt like a new experience. Yeah, well, that's what we just had it on DVD, and that was just always what it was. I don't know if we like did that on purpose or
Well,
if
that's
that was
like
just
I didn't
what it
even
was,
know.
but
I didn't even know One Piece was an English dub because I used to watch it on like the Cartoon Channel when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then someone the other day was telling me that it's actually an MA-rated show in Japan. And all the like apparently one of the characters is always smoking a cigar, and in the Americanized version they changed it to a lollipop, and they make him speak English. And I always thought that was normal. I guess I'm a plebeian
That's
when it
legendary.
comes to anime. Well, I know that, but yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. See, when you're a kid, you're just like you just think it's in English because that's the dub we watch. The girl who voices the main girl, I think, is the same one who's Lilo and Stitch, or something like that. Maybe? I don't know. That's a good movie too. And finally, Ant-Man and the Wasp saw last night, which we will be getting stuck into pretty soon. Oh, God. I always say I'm going to fly through it. And
Yeah,
then
that
I
was
get
only like
distracted.
13 minutes.
Yep. What have you been watching, Jaron?
I did a double feature as well of Upgrade and Hereditary. It was the first time I saw Upgrade and I really liked it. Cool B-movie. Action flick. And not Tom Hardy is so good in it. When he's doing the action scenes and his body is really robotic and fast, and his head's just like, what is going on?
Yeah, he's like horrified.
It's awesome. Yeah. And Hereditary was a rewatch because I'd seen that a couple weeks earlier, and I love it so much. One of my favorites of the year. We'll talk about that later. My friend Kyle came over to my house, and I showed him one of my all-time favorites, Gone Girl, because he'd never seen it, and it's still a masterpiece. Gone Girl is one of the top 4 movies of all time. I mean, it is honestly the pinnacle for me of like scoring, cinematography, color correction, sound design, set design, CGI, direction. Even the performance by Rosamund Pike is fucking amazing. It's beautiful, it's engaging, and it's really fucked up. And those are things I love in my movies.
Probably the best movie where Rosamund Pike knocks herself out with a hammer.
Yeah,
in that genre, it's the peak.
Yeah, top 3 at least. Yeah. Or it shoves a wine bottle up her coop. Top 3.
I was going to go with that one, but I thought that's a bit much.
Not for me, pal. I watched Police Story, a 1970s movie. It's one of Jackie Chan's finest. And it opens with this bus chase, which is fucking amazing. And it's brilliant. And it closes with a fight through the mall, which is also brilliant. And the act with the choreography in those, it's actually directed by Jackie Chan, is so fucking good. And those 2 acts are sandwiched by the middle act, where there isn't any action except there's one scene where Jackie Chan's fighting his friend, and they have to kind of convince her that they're not friends or something. And in this middle act, it's all about Jackie Chan's character just chilling at his apartment, abusing his girlfriend, and ignoring domestic abuse calls to his police station. And it's all played off as a laugh. Like, he's like, some chick's like, help, my husband's trying to beat me. And he's like, yeah, I'll call you back. And he puts it down. And and I'm like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, I want to get with other girls, even though I'll still stay with my girlfriend. And your girlfriend hears it, and he's like, oh, I didn't mean it. And she walks off, and he's like, yeah, so anyway, I would definitely get with other girls. And I'm like, that's not Jackie Chan. Like, what are you doing, mate?
Yeah,
and
so
that kind of turned me off. Yeah, but it's weird because his character,
so he's not meant to be an arsehole.
No, because none of that stuff ever comes back, and it's never mentioned in the first or the third. It's just, I feel like they just built it around these 2 set pieces and just had to chuck something in the middle, and it just felt like a different movie. And that's not Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan is supposed to be
He's a sweet boy,
sweetheart. And yeah, I don't understand. That really dragged down the movie. If it was anything like the first and third act, it would have been a masterpiece. But yeah, it was fun. I gave it a 3.5. It really dragged it down, really tanked it for me. I was in the mood. I got home from work at like 11. I was in the mood for a Jake Gyllenhaal movie, but I didn't want to watch anything that was kind of too grueling, like a Prisoners or anything. Like, because I was kind of out of it. I just wanted to eat and like go to sleep. So I put on Love and Other Drugs, and I know you don't like this that much, but I love it.
Hey,
it's really sweet,
dude. There's enough to like in that movie. I don't think it's a great movie, but it's got some things in it that were quite enjoyable to look at.
It's also just so damn, like, I think it's really sweet, and the relationship's really cute, and Jake Gyllenhaal is just the man. I watched Sicario de Soldado, like you already talked about that. I really liked it, although it is lacking Villeneuve immensely. I bought Blazing Saddles from a recommendation from Jacob, and I watched that, and I loved it. Blazing Saddles is awesome. I love the meta-ness of it. It's so funny. I like how it comes off as racist, because everyone's saying the N-word like every single minute, but everyone who's not a coloured person is just, except Gene Wilder, is just a bumbling idiot. They're just fucking morons, and it's played off really well. I watched the Netflix film Set It Up, because I heard
I watched that
Glenn
too.
Powell,
Not this week, but
and I liked it a lot more than you. I really liked it. I think that the dialogue is definitely the dialogue doesn't feel it feels like something like how people say, like it feels like the screenwriter knows how people in this age talk. It was all really relevant. They used like some social media stuff in the way that it's actually used, not in that cringeworthy way that some movies use it. And I thought it was just so cutesy, and like when fucking Glenn Powell and Zoe Deutsch are like, I butchered that last name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Dutch? I don't know. Deutsch. When they're like about like in the room together, like, not spoiling, and they're like getting close, and then they're like, okay, we gotta go. I was like, oh man, I was really invested in their relationship. I really wanted them to get together. I was like, man, they were almost there. Why are you separating? Yeah, it was so cute. I really liked them. And they both weren't. Neither of them were like douchebags. They were both kind of cool.
Glenn Powell's character's kind of a dick.
He's cutesy though. Like, his favorite meal ever was just eating a pizza after climbing up a fire escape with her. Like, he's a bit of a dick, but in a scene where it needs him to be a dick. But I like him a lot. And then I watched Captain America: Civil War, one of my favorite movies, my favorite MCU movie, in preparation for Ant-Man and the Wasp, because I've heard the Ant-Man and Wasp is more of a sequel to Civil War than it is to Ant-Man, which is true.
Yeah.
And then I watched Ant-Man and the Wasp.
It does get referenced a fair bit in Ant-Man and the
thoughts
Wasp.
will come later. Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's it. All right. We're going to talk about a bit of news.
Yep.
So, yeah, a lot of news happened while we were away. We're not going to get into all of it. We're just going to talk about some recent stuff. And there's something that we've touched on a lot on this show, so it is relevant to us, and that is the It Chapter 2 cast. Over the past month or so, we're getting all the announcements trickling in, and we finally have the full 7, and we got our first photo of the cast together. So what do you think of the whole cast? You a fan, or?
Yeah, I'm just going to read the cast out real quickly to people who I haven't kept up. So Jessica Chastain, we already knew, is playing Bev. James McAvoy is playing Bill, that we already knew. Bill's the main character who loses his brother at the start.
Like Bill Hader, I guess.
Bill Hader is playing Motormouth Richie. We've got Isaiah Mustafa playing.
He's the Old Spice guy.
Yeah, he is the guy next to Terry Crews that does Old Spice.
Champion.
We've got Jay Ryan, and who's playing Ben, and I think that's he does look like Ben, and I think that's good. He hasn't really been in anything, although he's Australian. He was on Neighbours, our famous Australian soap opera.
Yeah, I haven't heard of a lot of these guys, although
we were right in saying that they were just going to fill it up with.
I do like James Ransone as Eddie.
Yes, me too.
He's no Jake Gyllenhaal, but I think
I
think that's a good pick, and he's a good actor.
Yeah, so do I. He's great. Yeah, in Inside Man, which is a heist movie. You said you like heist movies. He's great in that.
And he's like the deputy in Sinister.
Yeah, and he's in A Valley of Violence. He's one of the gang members. Yeah. And we've got Andy Bean, who I've never heard of.
No, who's he? Stan?
Yes,
apparently. I can't imagine he's gonna be a focus in the movie, but
he wasn't a focus in the first one either.
Yeah,
I haven't read the book, so I don't know what happens in chapter 2. But
yeah,
apparently he was in Allegiant, the last Divergent movie that got shelved. So
I didn't even watch the second one.
No, neither. I saw someone watching it on a plane once, and I was like, man, I'm glad I missed that. That looks terrible.
And the thing is, I actually liked the first one, and I still didn't care enough to go watch the sequels.
Yeah. It's just watered down Hunger Games. Yeah. But overall, I really like this cast. I think they're all really well picked.
Dude, they could have picked fucking anyone for the rest, and I'd still be happy because we got Jessica Chastain
and Bill Hader,
a favorite of the Children of Film podcast. You know,
and someone like Bill Hader.
He's not someone I would have envisioned as Bill, but he's that good an actor that he's good. Plug him in anywhere.
He's like one of the funniest dudes ever, though.
Yeah. Oh, Bill's not a funny character though.
what? Bill Hader isn't playing Bill.
No, I said McAvoy.
Oh, McAvoy. I said
As
and Bill
Bill.
Hader, and you're like, yeah.
Oh, no, I was still talking about McAvoy.
Yeah,
Bill Hader
yeah, I
is a
didn't-
great pick.
I didn't. Yeah, Bill Hader's great, but I didn't picture McAvoy either. But upon thinking about it, I think he would be good.
Yeah, that's the thing. I have
think-
no complaints about him as
Yeah.
a pick. I never would have picked him, but, you know, he can do anything.
I really would have loved to see him Bokeem Woodbine be.
He's a gun.
Yeah, I really would have liked to see him.
How
in
good
there,
is he
but
in
that's
Fargo
alright.
season 2?
Yeah, that's why I wanted him. He's in Homecoming for a little bit as well, but yeah, he would have been cool. But I think that they picked a good Mike. This dude's just a lot skinnier.
Although he
and
may be a
shorter
bit
than
too
Mike
tongue in cheek for Mike. Although
Yeah.
we've got the Old Spice guy who's a
Yeah,
funny fucker.
and he's way more tongue in cheek than the other dude. ever was.
Those
But-
ads are so good though.
Oh,
I don't
love
know
them.
how it'll translate to the movie, but yeah. As
Oh,
for
well.
Jay Ryan and the other guy, I've never heard of them, but good on them.
They look good. They look
I'm
the part, so.
Of the movies coming out next year, this is high on the list of what I'm keen for.
Oh, fuck yeah. And I'm
Love
glad
the
it's only a
first one.
2-year turnaround and not a 3-year. You don't have to wait that long. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
and
glad.
it seems like these people really
Yes.
enjoy making it. People really like working with Machete, it seems. Chastain seems really excited to be playing Bev, which is good.
And Bill Hader isn't on social media, which sucks, but because I think he'd be a gun at it. But like him and Chastain and McAvoy were having such a good time on social media talking about their casting, sending each other gifts and shit. That I think they're really excited.
Damn right. All right, moving on. Just something to touch on briefly because nothing massive news, but it's just confirmed that John Krasinski is involved in the Quiet Place sequel that they're
Yes.
developing. They pretty much announced it right after it came out.
Yeah, they kind of kept it quiet though until
but,
now. 'Cause it's on
without
DVD
spoiling the
next week.
movie, you might think that we weren't sure if Krasinski was going to come back to direct or anything like that. But we don't know if he's directing, but he's definitely involved one way or another. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you think we need a sequel?
I don't. I don't think we need a sequel. But the interesting thing that they said, the producer said, we've been lucky on this one because I've had movies where the studio says to you, look, this made a lot of money, so here's your date for the sequel, go make it. But apparently on this one, they're not rushing anything, which is, he said, is unique and kind of amazing. They're letting them take their time and choose, choose the story that will fit the narrative well and will actually be a good movie, so...
Yeah, I don't think it needs a sequel either. I think it wrapped up pretty well. And, I don't know, with that, it kind of just shows, I mean, yes, they're getting time to do it, which is great, but it also shows that they don't really have an idea for it.
Yeah,
they're
they
just
don't.
doing it because it made money. But
I
guess
I
that's
think
the
it could
case with
work
any
if they...
sequel.
Yeah, I think it would work if it was a prequel or maybe focused on a different set of people. I don't think it needs to be a sequel with the same characters.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I think their story's done.
Although more Emily Blunt's never a bad thing,
Oh,
but
never a bad thing.
and the kids were pretty good too.
They were. They were. Yeah, they were very good. Especially the deaf girl. She was fantastic.
Yeah, and the kid is in Wonder, I think, and he's good in that as well. The dude, yeah, and the toddler who gets eaten right at the start.
Hey, he was a good lad.
Spoilers? You can tell from the trailer what's going to fucking happen there.
Yeah.
Come on. All right,
you've
moving
seen
on
them.
from that. Just another thing I'll touch on briefly. Scarlett Johansson is playing a transgender man.
Oh, no. So this
in
means that...
a movie directed by the Ghost in the Shell director Rupert Sanders, and I just want to say, I'm not going to sit here and say you can't do that. I'm politically correct, but I'm going to sit here and say, girl, maybe just think about that one for a minute.
Yeah.
Like once, okay, but again,
See, the thing is...
it's not the same thing. But again,
Yeah.
sort
she's
of controversial casting choices. You'd think she would maybe want to shy away from that to avoid controversy.
Yeah,
I
see,
don't know,
Jacob and I are cisgender males. We don't really have anything to... We don't really have any great insight into this because we're not, like, being oppressed or anything. But
There
Scarlett
are
Johansson
transgender
playing...
actors out there
Yes,
who would
yeah.
love a role like this.
Orange is
So-
the New Black does
not do it?
transgender really well. And
Freaking-
she's
it's-
playing
dude, it's
a
not-
guy
it's
called
not-
Jill who was born as a male and lives as a man. And yeah,
it's not Ghost in the Shell. It's not a blockbuster where you need to sell it to an audience. It's a fucking biopic about the boss of a massage parlor. So Why do you
The
need a
thing
big
is-
star to sell that? It's
well,
just like... it's
because
just
they
gonna-
need to make
doesn't-
money. They're going to make this movie for 20 million. They're going to give her 10 million, and
Yeah.
she's happy with the money, and they're happy with the big name because it earns money.
Get a small name, make less, spend less, profit.
Yeah, but that doesn't always work. See, I guess this would be more of a chance. Less of a chance, even, just having a big star. But I agree with you.
Put a big name cis actor in the sidekick role, or
Is there
the
one?
villain role, or whatever other role. There will be other characters. It's not a
Yeah.
one-man show here.
No, I mean, is there... Do you know... Oh, yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
that could work.
It's what I think ScarJo made some comments that upset people. I'm not sure what those were, but do you have them, or
Yes. So
we should go into
people,
journalism.
a lot of people are really upset because they were calling her out, and her response is, they asked her, "What do you want to say to all the people saying you can't play this character?" And she said, "Tell them they can be directed to Jeffrey Tambor, Jared Leto, and Felicity Huffman's reps for that comment," she said. As you know, Tambor, Leto, and Huffman all played transgenders in Transparent, Dallas Buyers Club, and Transamerica, respectively.
So
You've even got people like
basically,
Eddie Redmayne.
It's like the playground equivalent of going, they started it.
Yeah, and I love Scarlett Johansson, but this kind of feels like I don't know, yeah. I feel like she could have maybe talked about her position, why she took it, but instead she just went, well, them too, so them too.
If
Yeah.
your friends jumped off a cliff, does that mean you have to jump off the cliff?
Well, Rosa would have done the diameters for the jump and the pin.
Yeah, I mean, if Rosa Diaz
if
jumped
Rosa
off the
Diaz
cliff,
jumped, you'd-
I would jump off that
for
cliff.
all means,
but, you
jump
know.
off the cliff. Yeah, exactly.
Not even because of the research. I just want to fucking follow Rosa Diaz, you know?
Hey, right? When they're figuring out the fucking puzzle. Oh, I didn't solve anything. I just followed Terry into a dark closet. Me.
Watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, folks. It's a quality show.
Yeah. Brooklyn Nine-Nine got cancelled while we were away too. And then
Hey,
got picked right
all
back
these
up.
mentions, us always mentioning on the podcast, we basically saved the show.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We did. And you join our shitposting page on Facebook.
Because people,
Brooklyn
like,
Nine-Nine.
NBC realised that maybe the disappearance of children of film correlated to the cancellation of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and they renewed it in an effort to get children of film back on the airwaves.
Yeah, so now we'd also just like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, NBC, for this podcast.
Send us some merch.
yeah, right? We brought Brooklyn Nine-Nine back. We deserve to get cameos on the show.
Send
or
Terry
something.
Crews to my house.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, alright, Jacob can meet up with Terry Crews. I just want to be on the show. If I can be arrested by Rosa Diaz and kind of pinned down or something, I wouldn't mind that. That's fine. That's fine with me. All this
That's news
sexual
done.
harassment talk, that's not probably the most appropriate thing to say, but, you know, it's fine. Yeah, that's the news done.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, folks.
Yes.
Definitely not going to be as in-depth a discussion as Infinity War.
No.
But it
a
was a
lot
film that
less
we saw.
spoilers.
New MCU movie day is always a special occasion. It's always very, very exciting, no
Now we
matter
have,
what
like,
the movie
fucking
is.
8
Now we
months
have
to
so
wait,
long
though,
to
my
wait. It's
God.
bullshit.
I know.
Like, they're just... Oh,
This
they're-
wait was a lot less hard before they dropped this massive ass fucking cliffhanger on my shoulders. Now I feel like I'm walking with weights on my back.
And
I have
this
to-
movie does nothing to alleviate that
I
pain.
have to wait if anything, no spoilers. It does more.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna have to wait like 11 months until the conclusion to kind of drop this weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Ant-Man and
oh,
Wasp.
jinx.
Damn it.
So yeah, we are talking no spoilers at the moment, spoiler-free review. We'll go into spoilers a little bit later on, but there's not as much, anywhere near as much to spoil as something like Infinity War, so you can probably listen to most of this and be okay. So what are we going to say? Well, the plot is you got Scott Lang back, the robber turned Ant-Man turned person on home detention. Is there. Paul Rudd plays him. He's on home detention. Hope and Hank are trying to create a quantum tunnel to go into the quantum realm to get Janet back. And that's basically the plot of the movie. It's just them trying to do that, and there's just tons of obstacles. There's enemies coming after him. And, Scott has to deal with, like, being on home detention and sneaking out and stuff. It's a fun movie, is what I'm saying.
It is a fun movie. Straight away, I'll say, for me, the show was stolen again by Luis.
Luis
definitely-
is the fucking
They definitely beefed up his role a bit because he was such a fucking fan favorite. And
it's not just
so
like
good.
he's there cracking jokes the whole time. He's
Yeah.
actually useful.
Yeah, exactly.
He
And
does stuff.
You know what I loved? I loved that Luis and his gang. I don't know their names. But they
T.I. and
Yeah.
Das Malkian.
yeah, they have turned.
Shout out to Snake Man from Prisoners.
Their characters have completely turned around. Oh yeah, I watched Prisoners. I forgot to log that. I watched Prisoners in my diary display.
Yeah, I
Fucking
thought
love
you were
it.
going to talk about that. 'Cause
Yeah, I
remember
forgot about it.
when you brought up
I
Jake Gyllenhaal and not watching something gritty. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Prisoners. Will
I
come
forgot to
later.
log Prisoners. I watched that a few days ago. Anyway,
yeah.
and they have like they were criminals in the first one, and they have completely changed around. And it's so funny that they are so fucking dedicated to making their legitimate business work.
Yeah.
Like
And
their whole movie is just they're
it's
trying to
not
land
the-
a client. It's amazing.
You feel like their business is like you go into it and you think, is this going to be some dodgy ass business?
Right.
But it sounds like they're
No,
actually trying
it's
to be
not.
legitimate
Yeah.
security contractors or whatever they're
yeah.
doing.
Yeah, they're trying to land a big thing. And Michael Pena's like, no, we need to save money, man. We're cutting down on costs. And the truth
Yeah.
serum running joke was fucking
Oh
hilarious.
yeah. Anyway, I guess we won't spoil jokes, but we can
No.
talk about that later on. But
Yeah.
yeah, Louis is hilarious. He gets involved in the action.
Cassie
later
as
on.
well.
Cassie is great.
She
yeah.
was great in this movie, yeah.
Has some great scenes with Ant-Man. Maybe
Yep.
one day she can be a superhero.
Oh, yes. Oh,
In MCU Phase 11.
yes. Thank God. She can wait like 25 years. She'll be in.
She'll be right.
Or do a Tom Holland and just jump in 10 years.
So yeah, did you like this movie?
I did.
I mean-
I really liked it. I enjoyed it.
The checks haven't cleared yet, but I still had a fucking great
Shit,
time with it.
nice. Yeah. Yeah. Mine cleared yesterday, so I'm A-okay to say I liked
Ah,
it.
okay,
Yeah.
good.
Sucks yours hasn't. But
I
yeah.
have half my rent's due.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed this. As far as Marvel movies go, I think it's kind of mid-tier.
Yeah.
It's nothing, it's kind of cookie cutter, it's nothing
It's
special.
light.
But what I love about the first one and this one is that, you know, we're getting so much superhero movies lately, and the Ant-Man movies and Peyton Reed know what make these movies unique. So they really play up the shrinking, the growing, they really play
Big
up
things
the giant
be small,
ants.
small things be big.
The giant
and it
ants
never
are so
gets
good.
old.
It doesn't. So, and mid-action scene, they will completely transform the entire set and the way it's shot into something small for seconds and go right back, and it's so engaging and it's so fun. And
Like
yeah.
I just can't get enough of non-threatening items made comically large
Oh,
and being used
yes.
as weapons. Like
He just
the
got
Hello Kitty
pezzed.
Pez dispenser. Like
Yes.
it's such an easy joke, but I love
No,
it.
it's so good. I wish they did it a bit more, but yeah, I really liked it. I don't know if it tops Thomas the Tank, but
Yeah, no,
the
you
Pez
can't beat
is-
that. That was
Pez
great.
is definitely really good. Yeah.
I think some of the action scenes in the first one were a little more creative, but
Yeah.
I think this is probably a better movie on the whole.
But yeah, I think that I usually enjoy movies where they where it's not an origin, where they're the hero the whole time, which is why I kind of
Yeah.
like the Avengers 2 more than the first one, because
And
I
Deadpool
prefer
2.
seeing them interact than them meet. It's just personal. But yeah, Deadpool 2, Ant-Man, this is I really really enjoy this. And I think that even though it was called Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think she kind of took a backseat to
Yeah.
Ant-Man's story.
That was my thing. Like, I wanted to see more of those two fighting together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it did not feel like Ant-Man and the Wasp. It felt like Ant-Man and Hope Van Dyne is, like, there. And she does a lot of stuff. Like, she's, like, great. And
She's
probably,
actually more of a badass than Ant-Man, yeah. She's,
probably more useful than he is in battle.
And I
but
like that they
it's
don't
really
play that down
about
either.
him still.
every
which it's
act.
like-
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's a little disappointing. Like, because you want... Really, this should be, like, their first female-led movie, but it's not really.
Also, with the situation that Scott Lang is in on home arrest, it's kind of hard to have them together the entire time. And I do want to know about Scott Lang. I want to know about his house. I want to know about his family. I think Bobby Cannavale and Judy Greer were great. They're not in it much, but every time they're on, And they're like, they've completely moved on from being like kind of suspicious of each other. Like every time they're on, it's just so wholesome. They're like, Scott! And even Bobby Cannavale's like, come here, Scott! And he just jumps in and hugs. It's so wholesome.
Randall Park is funny as well. He's he's the
so
FBI agent who's sort of in charge of Scott, making sure he doesn't leave and stuff. And he's really funny.
There's a group of villains in here, led by the man Walton Goggins, and they are only in there for collateral damage and to make the action scenes more
liked them though.
If you cut them out, nothing changes though. They're not related. They are not connected to any character in the movie.
They add pressure.
Yes,
during.
but if you cut them out,
the action
nothing
scenes
changes.
Not really. Like they interrupt like every single freaking step of their plan.
Why are they there? They're there to start a business with Hope or something?
Oh no, they're useless characters. Like they're not interesting in the slightest.
I just wish they were involved more.
They made the movie more intense. I think.
I don't know about that.
And so they're a plot device. Yeah. They're a plot device, but I think they worked.
But one thing that I also kind of had a problem with was that
they're responsible for one of the best jokes in the movie.
One of the things that I did have a problem with is in the first movie, before Scott gets the Ant-Man suit, we see him and all his abilities prior to getting the suit. He can do all this amazing parkour. He can break into anything. He's a beef dude. He knows how to fight. And then he gets the Ant-Man suit, and because he has all those abilities, he really he connects to it fast, and he learns all these skills pretty quick. He even takes on Falcon.
That's
and beats
why
the
he
Falcon.
was chosen.
Yes, and in this movie, he's kind of played to be like a kind of bumbling guy. He doesn't show any of the skills that he used to have. He's just kind of a bumbling dude who, and the Wasp is the one who beats everyone up. Ant-Man just kind of grows big and throws cars and rides a car like a skateboard, which is awesome. But he kind of is a bumbling. He's not an idiot because he's still smart, but he's a bit of a fool. And
although there are a lot of jokes where he's like, someone says a smart thing and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking."
Yeah, or do you guys just add quantum in front of everything? Yeah, I love that.
Oh, that was good.
But yeah, when he's like, he is kind of. I don't know. It really feels like their character turned on.
It feels like they've dumbed him down a bit because Paul Rudd's a goofy, lovable actor.
Yeah, or because they wanted to beef. I think that they really wanted to show that the Wasp is a lot better at fighting than Ant-Man. So they're like,
if you want to do that, have her fight with Ant-Man more.
Yeah. I think they only fought together once, right?
There's a couple times, but there's never like really.
Yeah, there's no one that sticks
moment.
in my mind.
Even in the climactic action scene, they're both off doing like separate tasks.
Except there's one climactic action scene where they're fighting each other, and that awesome line from the trailer, "I'll go at the top, you go at the bottom. I've got wings. Why would I go at the bottom?" That's not in there, but that scene, that
was a
scene.
shame.
Also, I love the line in the trailer where he's like, "We were just tiny," and that's not in it either. But what they did put in the trailer was a clip from one of the end credit scenes, which I found odd.
Yeah, without spoiling, there's a moment from the trailer that's in one of the end credit scenes. It's just a gag, not like a big thing. But
end credit scenes are sacred, man. You don't.
You shouldn't have put that in the trailer. Come on.
What are they doing? Yeah. You knew it was coming, but yeah.
As for the end credit scenes, without spoilers, they're good.
The first one is great. The second one is also very good.
Didn't fully get what I wanted, but the first one's a fucking doozy.
Yes.
And the second one's pretty much just a continuation of that.
Yeah, with a really funny gag that again is spoiled, but it's still great.
Yeah, but I guess that's about. The villain. What do you think of the villain, Ghost?
Ghost. I think that she was interesting on paper. I don't know if they executed it perfectly. Especially once you hear about her interesting backstory, and it just takes place in real time. She isn't as interesting as her backstory.
Yeah, I just think it's like she was a bit of a letdown. She was okay, but
after their two great villains this year, though, it feels like a step down.
She's too. They kind of go the sympathetic villain route, but I thought she was kind of too evil to be sympathetic, but too sympathetic to really be a threat or menacing.
Although,
like she has this whole thing, like how she has this backstory, which I won't fully spoil, but there's a reason. There's a reason she wants to steal Pym's tech, and it's like I can empathize with that, but then she's like even when there's another solution that will work, she's still like, nah, fuck them. I'm just gonna kill them because so I'm like, no, I don't buy the sympathetic villain angle with her.
Yeah. Although someone a character I really did like was Lawrence Fishburne. I thought he was a cool addition.
Yes. He was rather good.
And see, that's a side character that is involved in the plot in a way that I can buy and that I like. No, without spoiling anything. But yeah, that's about it for spoilers. I think.
Not the weakest villain of Phase 3, courtesy of Caecilius.
Yeah, I like. I don't know. I think Caecilius is better than Ghost, to be honest. I like Caecilius more. I like Caecilius more than most people.
I can't forgive wasting Mads Mikkelsen like that.
See, Caecilius is my Ronan the Accuser because you really like him, and I like Caecilius.
I wouldn't say I really like him.
You're always like, oh, Ronan's good, but he's not.
Yeah, because everyone hates him so much. I feel like I have to defend him.
Yeah.
He's good. I'm not like he's not top 10.
I'm not going to kill Xandar. I'm going to cure it.
You're damn right.
I'm not going to get political. Me 3 drinks later. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that's it for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm going to give Ant-Man and the Wasp a 7.5 out of 10. It's a very fun time. Definitely going to watch it again. Yeah, aside from Infinity War, this hasn't been the best year for the MCU, but Infinity War kind of balances it out. As Thanos would say.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Yeah, perfectly balanced, as in last year we got 3 really good ones, and this year we got 1 amazing one and 2 that are good.
Good.
Yeah. Black Panther and Ant-Man and the Wasp are both good. They're around the same area for me. I gave Ant-Man and the Wasp a 4 out of 5, the same grade I gave Panther. It's definitely one that I will buy and I'll rewatch because it's really fun. It's really enjoyable.
I think even if they made like a 6 out of 10 at this point, I'd still buy it.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah, I would. Yeah,
you gotta have it.
But I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but they're on a 20 movies in.
They've earned the benefit of the doubt. Yeah,
20 movies in, they've earned the benefit of the doubt, and I like Iron Man 2.
I know people like to say Iron Man 2 and Thor 2 are terrible movies, but like they're really not that bad.
Yeah, see,
they're average, but
one thing that they have on a lot of other movies, superhero movies that aren't that good, is structure and a good hero and motivation and
like seriously, you get that right, and it's like you can avoid at least being a disaster.
And also, Chris Hemsworth talking all Shakespearean with an indestructible hammer. No matter what movie you put him in, it's not going to be bad.
Can't beat it.
I think Thor 2 might be the weakest because I rewatched Iron Man 2 and I liked it a lot more. Same with Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I need to watch Iron Man 2 again because I haven't seen it since theaters back when I didn't even know what the MCU was. So, yeah, gonna have to watch that again, mostly for my boy Sam Rockwell. But anyway, moving on from that, we talk spoilers for briefly. There's not a ton of stuff to spoil, but there are a few things. I guess the biggest thing is that credit scene.
Yes, so we'll talk the end credit scene right now because we want to. So the first end credit scene is that they've made the same quantum tunnel which they used to go into the quantum realm, but they've made it a lot tinier. They put it in the van, and Scott goes in there with like a rope attached to him. I think that's going to pull him out.
Yeah,
and
he's got like a canister to collect healing energies or some shit from the quantum realm.
Ghost is still alive, and they're helping her. Because she takes she's like the quantum a discount quantum vacuum kind of exploded when she was a kid, and it's made her phase in and out of reality. So they are going to get energy, and Scott's in there collecting energy, and they're like, "All right, Scott, we're gonna pull you back. 3, 2." And he's like, all right, guys, enough goofing. Where are you? Come on, pull me out.
We're just on Scott at this point, and then I'm like,
guys, where are you?
Oh, they haven't, have they?
No way. And it pans out, and all 3, Janet Van Dyne, Hank Pymp, and
Hank Pymp,
and Hope are all dust floating away.
I'm just glad they didn't do it to Cassie.
Shit. Oh, we don't know though. Oh no, but if it was Cassie, that would be
that's illegal.
That would have been way too far. But this adds even more questions. It's not just Ant-Man's going to be pissed that people have died. Ant-Man's stuck in the fucking quantum realm.
Yeah, he's in a goddamn bitch of an unsatisfactory situation.
Although, I mean, in the first one, he just got out of the quantum realm by going big, which I don't think they probably could have used in this one, right? He just used
but his suit's been malfunctioning the whole movie, so they could use that. But
why didn't they just use his old suit that doesn't malfunction when they found it?
I don't know, but I think yeah, that was strange, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they got it and they just
he
didn't
just
use
sort of
it.
flip flops between suits throughout the whole movie, depending on what the plot needs, whether they need to be successful or unsuccessful.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One of the best gags comes out of that though when he Deadpool baby legs it through a primary school.
They're in a school and he gets shrunk to like the size of like a child, and
he's like 4 foot.
He can't change, but they still have to sneak into the classroom. So he finds a blue hoodie from Lost and Found that's way too big for him, and he's just running around fucking.
And the teacher sees him. The teacher's like, "Oi, what are you doing?" And he just kind of runs off, and he's like,
he stands there for about 10 seconds with his back to the teacher, and then he just runs on. And the teacher's like, "I don't even care."
I don't know what it is. It's not him being big or tiny. It's him just being like 4 foot, and it's funny. Fuck, I love it. Yeah,
it's like Deadpool's baby legs, and the goofy ass music, and then when he's like running outside the school, just like flailing his fucking arms around in the air.
Also back to the last post-credit scene. What it basically is it goes to Scott's house where he's on house arrest, and so they took his ankle bracelet off and put it on a giant ant, and the ant has been instructed to do everything that Scott does in a day, which is bathe for 2 hours, play the drums, which is what is in the last credit scene. You know, you see the giant ant playing the drums in the trailer. That's what it is. But before it's one take, and we pan past the street, and it's completely silent.
And the TV's got one of those sort of disaster messages, like, please stand by.
Please stand by, beep. And you can't hear anything except like car alarms and wind. Like, it's nothing. And then it plays off, and the ant is still just doing what Scott does in a day. It's just playing drums. And he's going to do that forever until they tell it to stop.
They're all dust, so the ant's just living life now.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope Louise is still alive.
Oh, I know.
End of Avengers 4, we need a Louise recap of the entire MCU.
In the cinema as well, when they're like, so where is Scott right now? And you hear the music start up for when he does his monologue. When it starts up, everyone in the cinema was like, here we go. And I love how he goes on a monologue about that. And he's like, so where is Scott? He's like, I just told you, he's in a really, really strange place emotionally. No, where is Scott? Literally. Oh, he's in the woods.
He's in the but no, I love he goes to that story. We met him in prison, and then he's like talking as Scott, and he's like, hey Louis, me and you are going to be best friends.
Yeah. Or when he's like, and I love how they reshoot everything from the same sets as the first one, and they talk as fast as Louise does, and it's with his voice. And like, so Hope's there, and she's like, man, smell you later, but I really want to kiss you right now. And they start kissing, and she's just talking. He
gets into the character's psychologies,
No, he's a fucking weapon, honestly.
And the whole truth serum gag, like the bad guys of Walton Goggins they're like, we're going to inject you with this to make you suggestible. It's a truth serum. And the dude's like, no, truth serum isn't real. It's made up by movies. Sounds like truth serum.
Yeah. The gag that actually made me laugh so hard, more than anyone in the cinema, I was laughing harder than anyone else, is there's a recurring gag where one of the characters, they talk about Ghost, and he's like, it sounds like Baba Yaga. And he's talking about it, and he's like, Russian in my culture. Dude. Yeah, he's like, in my culture, Baba Yaga is which is the boogeyman from John Wick. He's like, Baba Yaga comes out to scare the children, and he faces in and out. And then they're talking about it, and he's like, oh, that's Baba Yaga. And then he sees Ghost, and he's like,
Ghost
you see him, they're all like,
you just see him they're all freaking out. You just see him in the corner, like, reciting the nursery rhyme or some shit.
They're all like, man, that was cool. Who was that? And then you look at him, and he's pale, and he's just like, Baba Yaga, come to my... And I'm just like fucking pissing myself. It is so fucking funny.
That was so good.
Oh yeah. And and a scene that actually kind of got me emotional, to be honest, was when he's sitting. You hear it from the trailer, and they play it up in the trailer to be like she's talking about Hope, when she's like, maybe you just need a partner, and he's like, yeah, but she's not into it. And then he's like, who's not into it? And he's like, Hope. You're talking about Hope? And she's like, no, I'm talking about me. And Scott kind of laughs, and she's like, don't laugh. I want to be your partner, Dad. And he's like, oh, shit. Yeah, and that kind of gets me. But then he's like, I would be the best partner, but I'd be a
terrible dad if I let you do it. Yeah.
Hashtag. Fucking Hank Pym. That's the whole reason he didn't let her be the Wasp in the first one.
Yeah. And now he let her be the Wasp, and really now she's cute. Dust.
She is the one, best. Hank. Like when she sees the ant in the bathtub, and she just smiles, and she doesn't even see her dad, but she's like, "You can't go up there. He's sick." Yeah, she like hell gets his back. She's a fucking weapon, honestly. You're the world's best grandma.
Randall Park was funny, like when he
Oh,
at the end
do you
when
actually
he,
wanna
like,
get
when
food,
he
or?
finally frees him from his home detention, he's like, "I'll be seeing you. Where will I be seeing you?" And Scott's just like genuinely just being friendly, like he's like, "Oh, where will we be seeing you?" I'll be seeing you as in like I will arrest you later when you do something bad.
Scott's like,
Oh, I thought you were
food.
inviting me to something.
No. And then he's like, I thought you were inviting me
I'll
to
arrest
dinner or something. No, I'm not. He walks out. Wait, do you want to get dinner? Or?
you. No.
Yeah. Yeah, I really.
So yeah, I guess we'll end on that note. Do you want to get dinner?
Do you want to get dinner, Jacob?
And yeah, so I guess the quantum. You think the quantum realm's going to factor into stopping Thanos?
Thank you. I forgot to mention right before that. They start that and they drop a little nugget, which I was like, "Oh, you cheeky cunt!" So Hank Pym's sitting there and he's like this has never been mentioned before. It's never even been a thing. But right before he goes in this end credit scene before they dust, he's like, "Now Scott, don't get trapped in a time box because we won't be able to get you through time." And Scott's like, "I won't," and I'm like, "Yeah, that was the most blatant kind of." So I definitely think that's going to play into it. Maybe Scott gets pulled. I would love if Scott got pulled out by Luis, but I feel like maybe he'll just grow big, or maybe he will go through one of the time boxes. I don't know.
I love how they make fun of the hats and sunglasses disguise.
Oh, yes. We just look like ourselves, but at a baseball game. This is a disguise. Yeah. Dude,
That was
Paul
good.
Rudd is endlessly charming and relatable as Ant-Man. He is so fucking good.
I love how every now and then he'll just sort of comment on a cliche or something. There's a bit where he's chasing Walton Goggins at the end, and they're running through the city, and suddenly Walton Goggins is like on a boat that's already halfway out to sea, and Rudd is just like, "Where did he have time to buy a ticket?"
And I love
There's
how...
a few moments like that I enjoyed.
I don't know if this happened in your cinema, but in mine, everyone's like, "Oh, it's just Paul Rudd being Paul Rudd, doing Paul Ruddy things." And then he's like getting naked to get into the shower, and you see his bod, and he looks like a fucking Calvin Klein model. And everyone's like, and everyone in the cinema was just like quiet, and they're like, "Oh yeah, fuck, I forgot he's a fucking beefcake now." Shit. It's just, that's Paul Rudd being Paul. Oh, sexy Paul Rudd. Yeah. I didn't know I needed that in my life, but I've got it now, and I don't mind it.
Good man. Man, that's what the MCU does for people. It gets them in shape,
Dude,
know?
if you can get Paul Rudd, the most
there's no better
goofiest
diet
looking guy.
than being cast in the MCU.
Exactly. Paul Rudd is shirtless in 40-Year-Old Virgin, and he's the most goofiest looking. He looks like the pale man from Pan's Labyrinth, but like 5'10", not 7 foot. And he's just a beefcake now.
Oh, the pale man.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's move on. Oh shit, we've been talking for an hour. Oh, well, the train continues. Should we
top
do?
five.
Let's do our message corner first, and then
Good
end on the
point.
top five.
Yes.
So, got one whole question on Twitter, and it's from the guy who's asked just about all our other questions.
He is an absolute fucking weapon.
And we also have a question from our friend Jack, who was too lazy to get on Twitter, but he asked it to us personally. So I guess we'll talk about that for you, Jack. You magnificent god.
Absolute weapon. Yeah.
So,
should we start with Jack's or?
Yeah, we'll start with Jack's. Basically, Jack wanted to know who are our favourite cinematographers, so like our 3 favourite cinematographers and like favourite movies from theirs and stuff. And that's a tough question. For my favourite, I'm gonna go. I can't really. It's tough. I'm just gonna go with the obvious answer and pick Lubeski because like he's
You're number one.
He's responsible for that many of like the most beautiful looking movies I've ever seen. Yeah. So I guess I just got to go with him as the easy pick, or Deakins. Like those two.
Yeah.
Are the go.
Those two are both my runners up. I've got one favorite, but those two are the other two I've got to mention.
Lubeski, Finch's man.
Jeff Cronenweth, yeah. So Emmanuel Lubezki, I'll just name a couple if you don't know. The Revenant, Birdman, Gravity, Children of Men. That's all you need to know, man. He is.
What's your favorite of those cinematography wise?
The Revenant. It's got my favorite maybe of all time.
I'm going to go with The Revenant also.
Maybe my favorite.
Children of Men, close second.
Yes. Roger Deakins, Blade Runner 2049, Prisoners.
He's a beast.
Assassination of Jesse James is beautiful. And I will just say he did the cinematography for both How to Train Your Dragon movies, and they are fucking gorgeous as well.
So your number one's Cronenweth.
My number one is Jeff Cronenweth. Yeah, the way he hijacks your eyes and he never uses handheld is fucking beautiful. You'd know him from Fight Club, Dragon Tattoo, Gone Girl, Social Network, almost any Fincher movie.
What are some non-Fincher movies he's done?
I had one.
Can't think of any.
There's another one that I've seen of his, and it is can't remember it now. 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams.
Yep, good film.
And he did Hitchcock, which I've seen, the Anthony Hopkins, Scarlett Johansson one. And I don't love the movie, but it is a beautiful looking film. And also he did, I haven't seen it, but he did a Jack Ryan movie, K-19.
Yeah, I honestly, I can't even pick a third one.
No, it's a Harrison Ford movie, but it's not Jack Ryan. It's by Catherine Bigelow.
I don't know who I'd pick as my next one. There's so many good ones.
Yes. Yeah, but Cronenworth would be my favourite with those two.
Yeah, gotta be. So thanks, Jack. What's your favourite Cronenworth movie? I guess what's your favourite Fincher movie? Social Network?
Social Network's my favourite Fincher movie, but my favourite cinematography.
Cinematography wise, yeah.
Maybe Gone Girl.
I would maybe say
Dragon Tattoo is up
did
there.
Did he do Zodiac? Because that's up there.
Yes.
That is an incredible looking movie.
Yes. Gone Girl or... Yeah, maybe Social Network or Gone Girl. Actually, no.
And then,
no, Zodiac is Harry Savides.
And then, if I had to pick a favourite, Deacons?
Yeah.
Maybe Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
Ooh, yes.
Maybe for me. Blade Runner's probably up there.
Harry Savides did Zodiac. He also did The Game, I think. And Seven.
Oh, so that's not Cronenworth?
No. Seven is gorgeous as well. Zodiac definitely shines above those two in cinematography. But
yes.
Yeah, Zodiac's gorgeous.
Who's Christopher Nolan's man? I really like him as well. Hoyt Van Hoytman.
Yes.
He's a gun.
He's a weapon.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go on to Jasper Stringer's question on Twitter.
Yes.
And don't forget to hit us up on Twitter at Children of Film.
Yes.
Whenever we're about to do a podcast, we'll put up a little post and you can ask us some questions. Ask us weird shit if you want. Doesn't even have to be about movies. So he asked one question for Jaron and one question for me. Yep. So I guess I'll ask Jaron that one and you can ask me the other one. So he asked Jaron, who is your Sally Hawkins and why? For those who don't know, I am hopelessly in love with Sally Hawkins. So who is an actor or actress that you are just obsessed with to an unhealthy level?
I've got two. I've got two answers to this question. One, my Sally Hawkins in general, if you're just talking in general, is Jake Gyllenhaal. He's my muse. I've seen almost 30 movies. I've seen every...
Oh, he's up there for yours truly as well.
Yeah, I've seen every cinematically released Jake Gyllenhaal movie that exists except Proof, which I can't find a copy of. And I fucking love it. Even shit like The Good Girl, and I've seen City Slickers. Jake Gyllenhaal, I'm in love with him. I'm not even gay, but I would probably marry him if he asked me to. But I think I'm just in love with his... he's the best actor working today, in my opinion, and he's so endlessly charming. He can play any role. He can be hopelessly hilarious in movies like Accidental Love, which isn't even good, but he's so funny in it. And
you watched that?
Yeah. I've told you. Yeah, he's hilarious. He's fucking hilarious in it, and he's ripped in it. He can be super intense. He can be creepy. He can play anything. And he does it perfectly.
Is Nightcrawler your favourite of his?
Yeah, favourite performance. Yeah,
gotta be.
Yeah. And if you're just talking my Sally Hawkins in terms of actress that I'm in love with, it's Emma Stone.
Yeah, but I'm in love with her because of her acting.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm like, oh...
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like, and that's what I'm saying with Emma Stone. Yeah. I'm not in love with Emma Stone's looks, although she's
I am.
I'm in love with her acting. Emma Stone is my favourite actress. She's
the man.
Gorgeous. She's amazing in everything she's in. Yeah, love her.
All right, and what...
Jacob, should I ask you your question?
Yeah. Jasper says.
Jacob... Which movie that hasn't come out yet this year would you consider one of the favourites for the next awards season?
Now, this is my department. I love this shit. I love awards season. I'm going to go with the obvious answer, and I'm going to say First Man. It's the movie I'm the most excited for this year, and with Damien Chazelle's track record, it's got that nice little October release date. Maybe too early for it to win Best Picture. I don't know. But although Moonlight came out a bit early in the US, didn't it?
Yes, yeah,
when
it
won, yeah. So you never know.
Also, Hurt Locker came out in April.
Yeah. And but no, that's probably, if I have to pick a favorite, just based on who's involved and what it is, First Man. Like it's written by old mate Josh Singer, who won the Oscar for Spotlight.
He also wrote The Cobbler. So.
No, that's the director.
Oh,
Tom
yes.
McCarthy.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, First Man, Ryan Gosling could be his chance at an Oscar, maybe. We'll see what happens.
Kyle Chandler again, yeah.
Yeah, Corey it's Chazelle. With his track record, there's no reason this shouldn't be a massive awards contender.
Corey
In terms
Stoll
of other stuff,
Buzz Aldrin.
I think Backseat could be a big player.
Ooh, nice.
The cast, Adam McKay nailed it with The Big Short, and I love that he's like transitioning into like a dramatic filmmaker now. But because of where he's come from, you know it's going to have that sly sort of sense of humor as well, like The Big Short
and
does.
It's got Tyler Perry as well, and I'm so keen to see him in a good movie.
Oh, really? Tyler Perry?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no, I will always give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, not with hit movies he directs. I will not touch with a freaking 20-foot stick. But whenever someone else directs him, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because of Gone Girl. So yeah, Backseat definitely gonna be a player, dude. Sam Rockwell is playing George Bush. Like that's gonna be the Oscar number 2. Come on, lads.
And Christian Bale's Dick Cheney. So I'm keen as
so
Steve
that is going to be very cool. The Sisters Brothers is one that you flagged. Jake Gyllenhaal as like a gold prospector or some shit.
And
that looks great.
Yeah, he's chasing the Sisters Brothers who are played by John C. Reilly and Joaquin Phoenix.
I think they're chasing him, aren't they?
He's chasing them, I think.
Aren't they like bounty hunters and they're chasing him because he's dodgy or something?
No, Jake Gyllenhaal's not dodgy. Have you seen the trailer? He's not the dodgy
one.
one.
No, I haven't.
Oh, he's not the... No, he's not the
I just remember reading the plot synopsis.
No, he's not the dodgy one.
What's he?
Maybe they are chasing him, but I don't think he is the dodgy one.
What's his character? He's a gold prospector,
He's a gold prospector, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe he is.
Hang on, I'm looking it up.
Do it. Either way. Yeah, but I think he kind of tries to get John C. Reilly on his side.
They're assassins. And
a gold prospector is chased by the assassins, so I don't think he's a bad guy. I think they're just trying to kill him for some reason.
And you got Riz Ahmed also, who is a good boy.
Yeah, I love him. And Creed Bratton from The Office.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love Creed Bratton, man. He is amazing.
Isn't his character just named Creed in that as well?
They're almost all named their own names, all the side characters. But
yeah, nice. I dropped off with The Office. I don't even think I finished season 2. I'll have to get back into that at some point.
But yeah, he's the best. He's probably my top 3 characters in The Office. He's fucking hilarious.
Does he? So I guess he does more, because I think I've only seen.
He actually doesn't do that much. He just pops up. He's just pops up in confessions, and he's like a murderer. And
I've only seen the one where Michael's trying to decide who to fire, and he goes to fire Creed, and then Creed convinces him to fire the other guy, and then the other guy convinces him to go back and fire Creed.
Even if you just watch a compilation of Creed stuff, it's amazing. Yeah,
I'll have to get back into that. That, and I also started the show Suits, so that's going to take up some time.
You haven't even watched Big Mouth yet.
I'm enjoying that.
Shame.
I'll get to it. I'm not as keen on Big Mouth as some of the other stuff.
You're not keen as Mulaney and Nick Kroll?
I love those
Jason
too.
Mantzoukas.
Yeah, no, I love those too, but I'm watching other stuff, and a lot of people I know hated it, so...
But it's got
and I'm not saying I buy into that, but...
It's got amazing reviews.
Anyway, we talked about TV a lot more than usual in this episode. Alright, and we haven't talked about it that much. That's it for our questions message corner. Thank you guys. Don't forget to hit us up on Twitter at Children of Film. Hope those answers were satisfactory. And now for today's top 5. Since haven't been around much this year and we've missed a lot of discussions, we're going to talk about our favourite movies of the year thus far. That'll be our top 5. Yes. So, pretty fucking straightforward. Jaren, you want to get us started? Give us some honourable mentions shit.
I've got 3 comedies for honourable mentions, all of which I really
It's been a good year for comedy.
It has. And those are Blockers, Tag, and Game Night. Game Night is my favourite out of the 3, but I love all 3 for different reasons. Blockers is really sweet. I thought all of these were going to be bad, and they all turned out really good. Although as soon as I saw the trailer for Tag, I knew I was going to love it. Game Night stands tall above them with amazing cinematography, a fucking fantastic script, and yeah, they're all really good ensembles. And I've also got Love, Simon, Black Panther, and Isle of Dogs, which I really love. And I'll start my number 5 by saying Deadpool 2. I think Deadpool 2 is probably the perfect sequel to the first one. It introduces Cable and Domino, who are awesome secondary characters who are going to come into the X-Force next. And I think The Kid, by Julian Dennison, powers the plot. And Deadpool is back to his wacky antics. The action is so good. It's really irreverent with how he kills himself at the start and he talks. And I don't know how, but they managed to do the intro credits as almost as funny as the first one. I didn't know if they could do that again.
Yeah, I mean, not as good as the first one, but they were really good.
Yeah, and. No, yeah.
Directed
I really
by one of the
Deadpool.
guys who killed the dog in John Wick.
Yes, and the big CGI guy that they finally got right again. They're so good at correcting big CGI people that have already been in an X-Men film.
Hey,
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, is that it for your honorable mention? That's your number 5,
Yep.
isn't it? Ew. All right, I'm just going to rattle off a bunch of honorable mentions because I really liked a lot of movies this year. But Ready Player One, The Other Side of Hope, Hereditary, Ideal Home, Sicario 2, Disobedience, really good love story between Rachel Weisz and Rachel McAdams. Rachel McAdams gives one of the best performances of the year. Death of Stalin, hilarious movie. As I said, it's been a great year for comedy. And yeah, it's definitely the best thing I've ever seen from, what's his name, Iannucci, who did In the Loop and stuff. Deadpool 2, honorable mention. Again, great year for comedy. Loved it. Jaren covered all the bases. Upgrade is an honorable mention. Loved Upgrade. Super fun action movie. And my last honorable mention is Kodachrome, a movie that I freaking saw in the theater and loved it. It's nothing you haven't seen before. It's a road trip movie with Ed Harris, Jason Sudeikis, Elizabeth Olsen. But it hit me emotionally. It hit me at the right time. I think it's really, really beautiful. Really great soundtrack and cinematography.
I also love Kodachrome.
Oh, it was close. Yeah, engaged with all the characters. And my number 5 is Love, Simon. It's been a good year for gay movies, and Love, Simon is probably the cream of the crop. And it's good that it's one of the first sort of big mainstream studio movies to feature a gay protagonist, and we haven't seen a lot of coming out stories in mainstream films. And they nailed that element of it. Nick Robinson is fantastic, and it is a really fun, charming movie that is true to what high schoolers are like, I reckon.
Yes. All right, my number 4?
Yes!
My number 4 is a Netflix film, and that is Annihilation, and I'm really pissed that Australia took this to Netflix because I really wish that I could have seen it in the cinema.
Agree. Dude, my internet's so bad, I used up all my phone data for a month to watch Annihilation, and it was worth it.
Yeah, Annihilation. It is. I love that it is a film that's entirely led by females for a reason. It's not just well, let's do this, but with females. It's for a reason. Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Tessa Thompson, Jenna Rodriguez. They're all these females who husbands have gone off to fight in the army or something because of the stuff that's going on, and there's some spook, and they all join this program, and they enter this place to go and rescue the men who never came back, and there's a lot of spook involved, a lot of alien.
It's fucking gnarly, some of the shit they find.
And it's a bit of a mind fuck, and I thought it was goddamn beautiful, and the end kind of reminded me of a kind of under the skin kind of thing, and I really, really loved it. It all came back, it all connected for me, and I was thinking about it weeks after it came out.
My number 4 is Unsane.
Nice.
Saw it in theater the same day as Infinity War. It was a freaking good day, and love Unsane. I've seen it twice now. Soderbergh shot it on iPhones. I think this is an even better comeback for him than Logan Lucky, and I love Logan Lucky.
You do love Logan Lucky.
But no, it's about Claire Foy plays a woman who is is tricked into signing a form that volunteers herself to be held in a psychiatric facility, and it's sort of like an insurance scam that they sort of keep people there, and it's is she losing her mind for real? Is it it's sort of silly in some ways, like sort of B sort of horror thriller type movie, but at the same time, I think it's got an A-movie brain and it has a lot to say about a lot of things, like, you know, abuse and victim blaming and stuff like that. There's one scene with a cameo from someone who you know that I think is really, really, really clever and kind of hits hard about
yes, I loved it.
You know, how much abuse victims have to give up when they haven't really, you know, it's not their fault at all. And
that took me by
it's really good in
surprise, that
regard.
cameo, but I was also like, yeah, of course he's in this. Yeah.
Hey, that dude, I've watched that dude in 5 movies this year, and 4 of them were cameos. It's ridiculous. He just shows up to random sets.
He's a weapon.
And but no, Unsane is freaking great, and Claire Foy probably still my favorite performance of this year in that movie.
Nice. My number 3 is A Quiet Place. And we've already talked about that. A Quiet Place is it's by John Krasinski, stars him and his wife Emily Blunt. They're both fucking fantastic. They really sell this world, the emotion, and they're a family, and so it's basically Don't Breathe meets Science. You know, they have to be really quiet because there's giant spider monsters around, and they will kill them if they make a sound. And it's really short, it's really fast-paced.
There's like no dialogue until like 45 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's short, it's fast-paced. The sound design is fucking immaculate. And yeah, it's almost, I would say that it's just about perfect for me if the CGI were a little better on the creatures. I didn't love that.
Yeah, they're a little janky toward the end there.
All the character stuff, the family dynamic, the acting, all on a technical level, I loved it. And the ending is fucking kiss-ass. I love that too. Kick-ass. Kick-ass even. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, my number 3 is Game Night, a movie that is just getting better every time I watch it. I've seen it 5 times, I think, and it just does not... Yeah, I saw it 4 times in theatre. I didn't plan on it. In fact, I only really planned on seeing it once, and then I just kept taking people to watch it. Like, I've watched this with 5 different people, and and it just, it gets more fun every time. The last time I bumped it up to like a 9 out of 10. It's so well written, and that's why it's rewatchable. It's not like so many comedies nowadays are just like, let's improvise and reference stuff, and this movie does have, like, you know, pop culture references and stuff, but they actually wrote jokes, like, because so many of the jokes tie into the plot, and it's not just a comedy, it's a freaking murder mystery type thing. And the fact that it's still so rewatchable even after knowing how the mystery unfolds is a credit to just how great the characters are, how well put together it is. The cinematography is brilliant. Every time you watch it, a different character is the MVP. You know, Jesse Plemons, Rachel McAdams, Billy Magnuson's hilarious in it. Did you suck it? No, Game Night is one of the best comedies of the decade so far. What's your number 2?
I love these small budgeted family driven horror movies, because my number 2 is Hereditary, directed by Ari Aster, and his directorial debut, feature film debut. And it's your general setup: haunted house, haunts family, but the characters and the relationships drive this home, as well as Ari Aster just knows what the fuck he's doing. Every frame is fucking beautiful. The cinematography and the score is
very confident.
So
debut.
goddamn good. And this isn't... There's like no jump scares in this. It's all kind of, there's something in the back of the frame and you don't really notice it until later, and it gets inside your head and you think things are going to happen. You can never predict where the fuck this is going to go. They really drive home this family dynamic through the whole film, and it's also sprinkled horror. From one of the very starts, when it pans through that room of dolls, it's scary, and they kind of sprinkle this horror stuff in. When you rewatch it again, you notice way more stuff than you did the first time. A lot more stuff when you know where the story's going. And then in the last half an hour, it full goes out horror, and it pulls it fucking goes past all the stop signs.
I think the first half is scarier.
I disagree with my whole heart. And it really takes a turn, and I loved it. And it's fucking, very, very good.
Freaking, the first half of Hereditary is like a 5 out of 5 for me.
Mm.
I just think it goes off the rails at the end. But
I do not.
There's so much in there that is top tier shit.
Yeah. I loved one at the end. There's a shot that goes for like 5 minutes with Alex Wolff's character kind of waking up, and we follow him through the house, and it is fucking terrifying. Yeah.
It was cool.
Terrifying.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to argue.
You can say, "Oh, I'm not scared," but look at all of the reviews of people saying they lost weeks of
I know.
sleep. You're in the minority here.
I know I'm in the minority, and I'm
talking about it like it's fact.
minority.
Yeah, it's cool. It's not scary.
When I say that, I mean that's what I think. I'm not saying it's an objective fact. Like, dude, I was so excited for that, and I don't know. Anyway,
yeah. All my friends that I
talked
saw
about
it with were
Hereditary.
fucking terrified as well.
Yeah, I watched it with my mum, and she did not like it at all.
Oh,
but
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, actually, audiences are kind of divided against critics as well, so I guess you're in the middle. But also, there's something that happens at the end of the first act that I'm like, what? I thought something else was going to be the driving force of this movie, and it turns, and I'm like, holy shit.
Brilliant. That thing you're talking about is
that was
fucking...
nuts.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that unsettled me the most in the movie.
It comes back, though.
What do you mean?
That plot, what happens comes back. Like, they finish that thread in the end. Didn't you like that?
But it's not... the third act, it sort of shifts. The movie changes what it's about.
Okay, I don't think so.
In spirit, I guess it's still about the same thing, but I don't know. It's hard to talk about without spoiling. My number 2 is Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah. Let's just get that out of there.
Yeah, the check cleared. They really upped it this time. Because you're not normally going to see a superhero movie this high on my list halfway through the year. Infinity War is top tier. It's one of the best things the MCU has ever done, and rightly so, because they've been building to it for so long. And it's a great film, and it's not just a great superhero film, it's a great film. It's really, really well shot. The score is brilliant. The acting is great from everyone involved, especially old mate Josh Brolin. It's so many memorable moments, and I think Jaren's going to have something to say about that one also.
Are we allowed to
so
spoil Infinity War right now? Do you think it's been long enough?
Let's spoil Infinity War.
Okay,
Everyone's
it's been
fucking
long enough.
seen it.
Yeah,
Come on.
It's made $2+ billion.
I mean, Jasper
so.
Stringer probably hasn't seen it, and he's our only listener.
You can
but
tune
still.
out now, Jasper. Okay, you can see it. But we love you. But Avengers Infinity War is my number 1. It's my only 5 out of 5 so far this year, and it didn't start like that. It grew gradually as I rewatched it, because I saw this 9 times in the theater. I'm still waiting for it to see Blu-ray. It is a couple, yeah. This is my second favorite film in the entire MCU. My top 3 are all owned by the Russos. I think they're brilliant. But yeah, like you said, I don't think I love everything throughout this movie so much. The villain is gonna go down as one of my favorite villains of all time. I think Thanos is. His story isn't over. You buy his motivations. There is credit to what he's doing. Like, he's a fucking psychopath and he's wrong, but there is credit to his plan. I think that there's.
Minus the genocide, there's credit to his plan.
I think there's credit to his plan. And they really hammer home that he thinks he's doing what is right. He's trying to save the universe. And
story.
When you think about what he's trying to do, he's trying to cut down on people so all the people that survive his wrath can thrive for the next thousands of years. You know, there is credit to that, because like people, he has seen planets, his own planet, that have killed themselves over this, and he's trying to stop that from happening and keep people from thriving. And I mean, what he's wrong in is that means killing billions, like whatever number of people, more than billions.
Small sacrifice, you know.
Yeah.
How many
but
are there
he
in the
thinks
world?
it's
Like 8 billion?
8 billion, but yeah, also it's the
Kill 4 billion?
Yeah, but no, the
Few
universe,
more
not
than
just
that
our
in the
world.
Marvel universe.
Not just our world, dude. The entire universe. It's not just
more.
Earthlings. Yeah, but no, it's just fucking awesome. And I honestly do not think, correct me if I'm wrong, there is a blockbuster superhero movie that ends like this ever. That ends with the heroes.
And you can say whatever you want about it being a cop-out or it's not gonna stay that way.
Yeah.
It's still a fucking jaw-dropper.
Yeah, there's still a year where Thanos, who is the hero in this movie, completes his hero's journey and kills half of the entire universe. Half of the entire universe is dead, including half of our heroes, and he loses and he sits and watches the sunset and smiles, still alive, knowing that he's completed his goal, and half of our heroes are dead. Almost more than half are dead, just because of probability. And I don't think there's ever been a superhero movie that, like, you can be like, oh well, Batman becomes the Dark Knight at the end of the Dark Knight because he has to leave the city. That is inconsequential compared to what happens here. Not talking about quality wise, but narrative wise, nothing.
It's big.
I've never seen one like this. Yeah, and this is what we were talking about. But there's still this fucking thing hanging on my shoulders where I'm like, I have to know what comes next. I have to know. Just give me a trailer. Give me a fucking poster.
Like, I'm locked
Give
in.
me
That
anything.
ending is not just great storytelling wise, but it's genius business wise, because everyone is going to go see number 4.
And, fuck it. Yeah, what would be the biggest knee-jerk and backstab of all time is if that Captain Marvel received that distress call, but she's dusted as well. That would be dirty. But it's not going to happen because she's one of the main characters in it, apparently.
Yeah, nah.
But people were also like, no, Hawkeye's definitely in it, just not in the poster, and look what the fuck happened there, so...
I'm really keen to see Hawkeye back. I mean,
me too.
They're not gonna. I mean, they're not gonna fan service it and make him be the ultimate hero. But I just want to see him contribute.
Dude, his contribution in Civil War, his 15 minutes in Civil War is fucking amazing. So
yeah, and if he goes where we think he's going, he's probably actually going to be pretty important.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, my number 1 of the year so far is Isle of Dogs. I have not hit that elusive 5 out of 5 yet. I had like 3 this time last year, but Isle of Dogs is my favourite so far. I've seen it 4 times. I just think it's invigorating. The animation is some of the most beautiful stop motion I've ever seen. I am hopelessly in love with Wes Anderson's films. I just love that. I love his aesthetic. Like, it's just it gets me erect, so to speak.
Isle of Dogs is also one of my honorable mentions, but yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, it's great. I freaking love dogs, and there's so many great like sort of dog jokes and puns and stuff, but they don't go overboard. I love that Jeff Goldblum is a gossipy bitch in it. Like, a lot of the characters sort of fit the actors that play them. Chief is one of my favorite characters of the year. Bryan Cranston goes through a really good arc. Yeah, I've talked about this a lot. I always run out of steam at the end of the shows, but Isle of Dogs, absolutely freaking love it.
Yes.
I can watch it anytime and not be bored.
Yes.
Because that is my ultimate seal of approval, I guess.
Yes.
That'll do it for the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
There's not much coming out in the next couple months that I'm super keen for, to be honest.
No?
Like, I don't see this year being as good as last year.
I am super keen for Mission Impossible 6.
I am super keen for that, but you know, I don't see it being like my favorite of the year.
Oh, no.
When it comes out, like, there's no movies that like I'm that hyped for. I'm really keen for Mission Impossible, but like even that's still over a month away.
It's
just under a month actually.
Yeah, like.
But what is going on? The Breaker Uppers looks pretty funny.
The Meg, I'm super keen for. I'm so fucking excited for the Meg. Mile 22. But these are all a month later. This month we've got like.
What's Mile 22?
Really. Mile 22 is the next Peter Berg film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's that one about?
Didn't you hear about it?
I don't think I have.
It's another true story film starring Mark Wahlberg, directed.
Is it a real life tragedy trilogy entry?
It is.
Fuck. We have to change it.
No. Yeah.
Peter Berg, Wahlberg, real life tragedy quadrilogy.
Oh fuck yeah! As the enemy, yeah,
is this a tragedy or is it just like a fucking action movie?
I think we'll have to see. It says an elite American intelligence officer aided by top secret tactical command unit tries to smuggle a mysterious police officer with sensitive information out of the country. So it might not be a tragedy. So it might not be an entry.
Ooh, Iko Uwais is in it.
Yes, it may not even be. It might not even be a true story.
I do not know.
Yeah,
we will find out, but no, I'll be keen for that. When's that come out?
Next month, August 23. So still over a month away.
Right on, yeah. But I'm just hanging on until First Man at the moment, just gritting my teeth. And,
It is not a true
waiting.
story, I don't think.
It doesn't look like it.
No, it's not.
All
Alright,
right,
sweet.
so
Our trilogy is still
good.
safe.
We've still got a neat trilogy.
Yes,
it's
still
good.
safe.
They need to do like a new trilogy of fiction movies.
Hey, well, apparently
we can
Mile
pull
22
the
might be a
time for.
trilogy, which I would prefer it to be different stories, but who knows?
It's what, like Mile 23 and Mile 24.
Fuck, I don't know, like the Jump Street movies, yeah.
Yeah. When are they doing another Jump Street movie?
No, I doubt it. And it's been, I don't know why, it made a lot of money, and
I'm just glad. Are they doing that Men in Black crossover?
no. I wish they were, but you know.
Nah, fuck that.
I think it's a fucking great idea. I would love to see
Not down-
Jonah
not
Hill
down
and
with
Channing
that one.
Tatum step into the world of Aliens. I fucking would love that.
Anyway, I reckon that'll do it for the podcast. We'll probably be back next week. We've got another week off. We're probably going to bring the film swap back also.
Oh yeah, it's about time.
Yep. So yeah, thanks for watching, listening, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, follow us on just follow us down the street on our way home from work.
Hey, you can follow us to my house and knock on my door. Please don't, but you know, if you have to, I guess it's only fair.
Follow us into the quantum realm.
I've abused your ears, so I guess you
can.
can abuse my property. It's fair.
I love film. Jaren loves children. Signing off now.
Peace out, guys. See you next week.
You've just listened to the Children of Film podcast.
Man, it sucks to be you.